Okay guys, welcome. Hey, how are you doing today? Hope you're in a beautiful state. I got my beautiful state water here. Beautiful state cup with beautiful water. All right guys, how are you feeling today? I hope you're doing good. If you are in profit right now because of the Bitcoin, well, big congratulations to you. And also, if you're not in a trade, then today we'll be talking about that. So very excited. Welcome everybody. Yes, we will be explaining MACD today, not RSI though. We will be going in MACD. For those of you who don't know that, it's technical analysis, which is what we use to do trading. But today we'll be talking about 10 indicators. But before I go in there, let's talk about some important news. Sorry, the PowerPoint first. Tesla makes more money on Bitcoin than cars. Pretty interesting, right? So that was, I kind of saw that one, right? Of course, that's going to happen. So listen, very excited to be here, you guys. Welcome on the live. For those of you who do want to win free money, that is going to happen. So please subscribe to our channel if you're watching this video and you haven't seen yet. Yes, on my channel, I do give free Bitcoin and free money. As I make money trading, I give some away. And this channel, we have dedicated to give more than $1 million US, okay, as the channel grows. And of course, you could be one of those lucky winners. We started at $10, $20, $30, $40. Next one's $40. It's happening on Monday, so please make sure to show up to that live. So please subscribe to our channel and share this video with people who need money and support our channel, okay? Of course, Tesla says, right? Isn't it great? It's just like, yeah, such an impact. It's very hard to, it's very difficult to see the impact on Elon Musk buying Bitcoin, but we're seeing it now, and you'll see what I mean as I go to the live today. Hey guys, here's what we're gonna cover today. A review of the chart of Bitcoin, because you know, this is probably outdated right now, but actually, no, it's the high, the all-time high we reached 56,625, more or less, okay? And then we're going to talk about the psychology of trading, specifically what is the limbic brain, and this is how people lose money. So we need to teach that, because my purpose of this channel is to help everybody to 100x without losing money. That's one of the purpose. And you'll find out that in almost every case where people lose money is because they sold at the wrong time. Does that make sense? Then we'll talk about potential entry trades you can make if you're not in Bitcoin, because some of you have sold and then you didn't get back in, and we'll talk about that. And then we'll take some questions and answers, right? Yeah, that's right. And also other news, we're now again $1 trillion, right? Bitcoin. So I did post in a video that we'll be giving $40 for free. So for those of you who have not seen that video, right? Yeah, it will drop back. We'll talk about that. So for those of you who didn't see the $40 giveaway, please come back Monday, 7:30 p.m. Bangkok time. You can check your local time, but you can go on our, if you go to our, just very quickly go to the page to show people who don't know. We'll come back to this chart, but if you do go to our YouTube channel, sorry, let's go to the YouTube channel here. You can see that we are having a free giveaway, and you can set a reminder on, and then you can show up to that event, okay? So that you don't miss out this free offer. And I believe that seems like there's 5 people waiting right now, but you know, they're gonna wait a long time because it's not until it's not until Monday. So somebody should tell them not to wait. Okay, let's go back to the presentation, right, that we're talking about. By the way, before I do that though, follow me on Twitter. The Twitter is @1BitcoinBillion. Okay, please, because a lot of times I may not have time to share with you what's going on into the Bitcoin, but if you follow me on Twitter, I'll make sure that you get it. So let me just share the PowerPoint here. So you can see down here @1BitcoinBillion. So make sure you follow me. I'll put in a comment as well. Yeah, I got ADA. I got in on that one. So that was a good one. Here, let me just put the Bitcoin Billion. Bitcoin. Okay, anyway, I'm putting in the comment. Hopefully it's put right because it's very small. But if you follow me on Twitter there, I believe that's the one. 1 Bitcoin Billion. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that because everything is affected, of course, by Bitcoin. But for those of you who got in a trade with ADA, definitely a good buy. I was in it and I'm definitely up. But you know, I would say, like, no matter what, always put your stop loss at a reasonable number. Okay, welcome guys. So let's go back to our presentation. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about that I did post that we broke the all-time high, and then I explained how I was going to trade. So because previous to that I said that maybe it was going to crash, but it didn't. But now you will see today why that predictions that people make are affected by many factors. So we'll go in that today so you understand and how to deal with that, right? So, but anyway, we're going to review the chart of Bitcoin first because a lot of things has happened, isn't it, right? So here's how, if you were not in the trade prior to this, right, like you should have got in here first of all. If you don't know that, that's where you should have gotten the trade because it broke the resistance point. So you enter there, it goes up, you put your stop loss, and then you sell before it goes down. So that's when I started trading. I did buy it at a different point, but I had to get in and I traded yesterday and I made money. So again, for all of those of you who made money, please continue to follow the rules so you don't lose it, right? Because today I want to talk about, a lot of people said I sold my Bitcoin. I coach a small group of people and they said, oh yeah, I sold my Bitcoin. I said, why would you do that, right? Why would you ever sell your Bitcoin? Never sell your Bitcoin. You always want to put a stop loss. So you put your stop loss at the at the support level in case it breaks that. And then, so you buy here and then it goes up, right? So if it comes back down, right, you can raise your stop loss higher. Now, a lot of people, a lot of brand new people, they don't know how to put a stop loss. So you can research on YouTube. Maybe later we'll do that. But most trading platforms have a stop loss, which is very best way to protect your wealth. Don't sell, put a stop loss. Just raise your stop loss along the way so you don't lose your money. Does that make sense? Because so many times people say, I sold. Why would you sell? Not what I would do. I would just raise my stop loss. Okay? So we'll come back to this chart a little bit after, okay? But actually, let's go in very quickly. Just take a look at it while we're live. If we go back to this, not this one, but if we go back to the chart, yeah, wow, look at that, very big. So we can see, right? Like it's been in a downtrend and now it just like whoop, took a deep breath and just raised here. So let's see what happens. If it closes above this, then there's a chance that you may want to buy back in, okay? Because it could potentially go higher and break the 60K. So yeah. So that when I see stuff like that, now it's 22 minutes left. Let's see if it comes back down because we want to see if it breaks this line, okay? So we'll keep track on that because right now we're still very bullish on the 1 hour. It would have to go all the way down to 54 to become bearish, and it's not bearish yet, but it is in a, you know, we are seeing some lower highs and lower lows, if that makes sense to you. Okay, if it doesn't, keep learning from this channel. Okay, so let's talk about the limbic part of the brain. That's what I want to talk, which is the psychology of trading. Okay, very quickly, we have two brains. We have the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system. Now, the prefrontal cortex is where your intelligence comes from. It's a connection, right? That's where happiness and joy and and gratitude come from. Now, the limbic system is where fear comes from. And when we're in a fearful state, what happens is that we go in a fight or flight reaction. And that's really important to understand because when you're trading, a lot of time there's a lot of activity in the brain here. And what happens is you react and you sell too quick. Or you sell and lose money, which you should never do with Bitcoin. You should never lose money with Bitcoin, ever. Because Bitcoin keeps going up. So why would you lose money? That doesn't make any sense, right? So let's talk about it, right? Let's say you see a lot of red. What red represents what? Fear, right? That's what it is. There's fear. Red, when you see the price dropping like that, that's fear. Right now, we're not seeing fear. If we go to the chart, what do we see, guys? What do we see? We see green. So now green is like, woo, we can make money. Red is fear, right? So now there's not a lot of red, but there's definitely some green here, yeah? So, yes, I do have a little bit of a French accent. That's right. Welcome. Okay, so what happens is that you react and you sell, okay? Now, the consequence of being in the limbic part of the brain, right, is that your intelligence goes down. Doesn't go up, it goes down. Okay? It makes you stupid, right? Because you should never sell Bitcoin at a loss, ever. So that's why when you're in the limbic part of the brain, you become stupid. I'm not saying you're a stupid person. Any human in a limbic part of the brain, intelligence goes down, and then you make a decision to sell, but you sell on fear. You sell because you're in a fighting mode or flight. You want to escape the potential loss, and then you lose money. And that's the problem why I came to do this live, because the promise of this channel is so that you 100x without losing money. But you will always lose money if you're in the limbic part of the brain. Does that make sense? So, and this comes back to the philosophy that I teach, which there's only two states to live your life from. You can live your life from a beautiful state or a suffering state. So when we're trading, a lot of time we're afraid of losing money. We're afraid of missing out. Maybe if you're not in a trade, or you're afraid, oh, I don't have any Bitcoin, I'm losing out. Or, you know, I should be in a trade, but it's going up, so you're afraid. But whenever you're in fear, this is not the way to trade. The best traders in the world take emotion out of it, or they stay in a beautiful state. So we're either living out of these two different states. We're going beautiful state, and we're going in a suffering state. Here's the point I want to make. Never sell, never trade, never do anything from a suffering state, because you're in a fight or flight reaction and you're going to make a lot of bad decisions. Does that make sense, guys? If that makes sense, put yes in the comment. Yes, that makes sense to me. Totally get that. Don't want to be trading in a fearful state. Don't do anything. Meditate. Do something. Make sure you don't get there. If that makes sense, put yes in the comment. Okay, so the reason I say that is because I've read a lot of comments on this channel. Brand new people just started to trade, and they sold and they lost a lot of money. And I want you to understand, the number one reason why people lose money is because they sell from a state of fear. Okay, now I wanted to teach you that. If that's valuable for you, press the like button. Okay, because we want to make sure that we manage our emotional state, okay, as we go from beautiful state, suffering state. A lot of people say greed and fear, and that's true. There is a greed in there, but greed is driven by fear. Greed is not a beautiful state. You know, greed means I'm afraid to lose out, so I want more. But when you're in a beautiful state, you're okay. You know, you don't need to. If you lost a little bit of opportunity, it's okay. We can just think about how to get back in, right? Thank you, guys. Great. Okay. So I'm reading your comments. Everybody says, makes sense. Yes, yes, thank you. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, that's right. So fear grows out of FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh my God, I don't want to miss out. It's going up, right? And then people freak out. So not good at all, right? So we don't want to be stupid. We want to be an intelligent traders. And in order to do that, we have to manage the emotional state, because remember that when we look at the graph, what we're seeing in the short term is emotion. This is greed, this is emotion, okay? So not everybody trades on greed and emotion, but certainly we want to manage that. Okay, let's talk about, if you're not in a trade, what are the potential trades you can make with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies even, okay? We'll talk about Ethereum after if you want. Some of you like Ethereum. So there are three different plays when I teach trading Bitcoin. Number one, buy and hold. Okay, buy and hold. And let me tell you something. Most people are not able to do number 2 and 3, so this is definitely the safest and best way to do it. You know, right now, the trading platforms, a lot of people are withdrawing their BTC, they're putting it in gold storage, and they're not touching it. They're leaving it. They're not trading it, because trading is risky. You can see how well Bitcoin does. Boom, right? It just keeps going up and up and up and up. Why would you want to trade? Just hold it. It's the safest way to do it. Does that make sense? Now, so obviously that's a good play. That's a very smart play to do. Number 2, you buy low and you sell high. Okay, you buy low, you sell high. So we'll talk about that. That's, in my opinion, you can gather more Bitcoin if you're willing to put some work in your trading skill. Because in my experience, the highest income skill you can learn, there are 2 skills, high income and low income, but trading is the highest income skill you could ever learn. It can allow you to have all of your dreams come true. So, and the other one is day trading. Day trading I do, but rarely. On certain occasions, like yesterday, where I wasn't sure where it would go, I did day trading, and I put a post on Twitter to say I was trading even on the 5-minute, so that so if it crashes, I can see it. Okay, so I made money because even on the 5-minute, when it's going up fast, it's very easy. You just watch it go up, 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 right? Then it starts going down. Okay, put your stop loss. That's it, right? You just keep raising the stop loss. It's not hard at all. And then you look for patterns, okay? But let's talk a little bit about that, right? One of the things that people don't understand about trading, okay, is that trading has a certain angle, okay? Let's go and, like, what I mean is that if this is the angle of going up, right? This is the average angle that it goes up. If all of a sudden Bitcoin does this and is going at that angle, that's not sustainable. It has to correct itself. You understand? So the angle of your trading, that angle seems to make sense, but as soon as it's too much of an angle, listen, that's why people freak out, because they think, oh my God, it's going up like crazy, I'm gonna miss out. No, it's not. Because you can see, right? If I go back to the chart, it'd probably make more sense to you. If I go back to the chart, right? Look at the angle here, so high. It's not, you can't sustain an angle like that. You can see the angle is about right here. So let me show you what I mean, right? If we take the trend angle and we measure from here to there, oops. Let me take that out. If we take the trend angle, which is this tool right here, right? Okay. And we go to here, you can see it's very, very high angle. Too high, right? It's not sustainable at about 62 degrees because in the pattern, it's more like 13, let's say. So what I'm trying to say is, like, listen, when you see like huge angles like that, there's always going to be a correction. That's important to know so you don't go in the limbic system, right? And FOMO, fear of missing out, because you're looking at the angles, right? Okay, going up, up, up is going to go down. Be ready for that, right? You're always going to have a correction, just like we're having one right now. It has to, right? Because on average, we can see the angle of Bitcoin moves at a certain angle. That's what you want to keep your eye on, because in the short term, when Bitcoin is being pumped, yeah, we see the angle change quite a bit, but that's not sustainable. That's emotion. That's not reality. Does that make sense? So we want to look at that. Now, so that's why it must correct. It must go down. Now, how low it will go depends on many factors. That's what we'll go through, right? But I want to show you 3 different scenarios in Bitcoin right now. Number one is small correction. So what that means is that it goes down, but it doesn't go down too much. It goes down maybe to that pattern and then sticks in this blue line pattern, which is where it's been right now at that angle. Okay, consistently growing, not at hyper speed, but a reasonable speed. So that is one potential scenario, and then it keeps raising and keep going at that kind of pattern. That's one scenario. So it went out of this pattern, or this becomes the new support, and this pattern changes like that on top. And that has happened before. If we go back and we look at it, we can see that has already happened. When Elon Musk bought, right? Here's what we see. Zoom out a little bit, right? If we zoom out and, oops, you can see that the pattern changed. Do you see that? Right? Right? We can see that it jumped from there to there, but it's still the same pattern, just that at that time from here to there, it jumped like crazy. So that's it's a pattern that changed, but overall, what it means is still going to be the same pattern. It's not going to be like that all of a sudden for the next 3 months. That's not going to happen. So that's one scenario, okay? The other scenario, okay, is a big correction, which Bitcoin, guys, have many factors for a big like correction. In technical analysis, I think that Bitcoin is due for that correction. And because my strategy is, how do we turn 5 Bitcoin into 6 Bitcoin? Well, we have to sell high and then we buy it again in the dip. Now, many of you know about that strategy, but that's how you increase your Bitcoin. If you buy and hold, well, when the Bitcoin is, let's say 150,000 by the end of the year, you own what Bitcoin, you have 150,000. Not bad, but you didn't increase your Bitcoin. If I have 5 Bitcoin and I sell it high, buy it again when it goes in a dip, now I have 6 Bitcoin. Now, you can look at the history of the chart. Bitcoin always has big corrections, 20, 30, 40%. I don't think we're going to see a 40% correction. I just don't think so. But it could potentially go back to 45K to 47K. If that happens, that's really good. Now, what a lot of people are doing, because they don't know that's the right number, so they buy as it goes down. So they take a certain percentage of their portfolio. I don't do like that. Instead, I'm watching the trend line and see if it breaks the trend, then I get in. Because why would I buy here if the trend is still going down? Does that make sense? But as it goes down, it may take 20 days to have a big correction. So if it happens, last time it took 18 days. So it doesn't happen overnight. That's why if you're watching the 1 hour view, it's very deceiving because you don't really understand what you're seeing, yeah? So, and the third scenario is that it just breaks this pattern here. Okay, that's probably easier if I show you on here. So it breaks the pattern, okay, and it keeps going up. And that could happen, and it keeps going up to, I'll just show you here, okay? So one scenario, you see these 2 lines here? If it breaks above this, which if we look at it now, it's kind of already doing that. It's just like, seems like that might be what the scenario is, okay? I need to fix this. Hold on a second. So if it breaks above, then we're going to probably see a very high number after that. But we have to keep looking at the chart. So let's look at the chart again, right? And what do we see? Let's zoom in here. So we see this green line, but it didn't close yet. If it stays within those lines, but if it starts going out and then you see it moving that way, well, I'm going to buy in. But my strategy is that I'm not going to buy all the way in because I see a big correction. And I don't put a stop sell here because I lose too much money. So I put 50% of what my trading capital is. Why? Well, let me explain why. Because if I put 100% and then it drops right away, let's say I put all my capital here, right? So take that out. And then it goes up and then it goes down. And then it keeps going down. And I put all my capital and I didn't put my stop sell. Then now I have no more money to trade with. So by putting 50% now, if it breaks here, then I put 50% of my capital there and I just make money with that. But I'm sure it's going to correct. Now, so I protect myself with the other 50% to buy low because that's how you get more Bitcoin. Okay? Because it's going to correct. The question is it going to correct at 55, 57, 58, right? People can predict, and, you know, social media and the news plays a big role on that, but it's going to correct. And nobody knows with 100% certainty what the highest price is. Otherwise, right, they're gonna be very easy to sell at the highest price. But it is going to correct. So that's why I have these 3 plays, okay? And trading is all about the law of probability in trading. I started trading by playing blackjack at the casino. And the way that I would do it is I would bring a little book and I followed the rules of trading. Like if I had a card, I would look at what's my next play. And if I lost, I would double down. And you can go from $5 to $500. So you can double down 7 times. So in order for me to lose at blackjack, I would have to lose 7 times in a row, which rarely, actually it never happened to me. So I would always win at blackjack. And I did that in my early 20s. I was a professional blackjack player by following the rules. So trading is about the probability in trading, okay? According to research, most people have a 40 to 60% probability of a positive or losing trade. That's not good. So that's why we need to look at the law of probability, because if you're trading Bitcoin, there's some risk that you're not making the gains that you potentially could make by just buying and holding. Does that make sense? Because there's missed opportunity. So in fact, the more you trade Bitcoin, the more risk you're taking that you're not going to hit the highest gain, because you're taking Small bites of a big mountain, instead of just getting in at the bottom of the mountain and going for the ride all the way to the top. So I posted this on my private group that I saw a 53% downtrend yesterday, but it did not happen and it went up. But that's why I'm saying, like, it's only when I coach people, I have a private group that I coach and I show them how to make trades, and all my students are making money. No one's like losing money. But I post on that group all the time, okay, so they know what's going on. So this is not a good number, okay? I'll come back to what I think we're at today, okay? So keep following this channel. That's why you're following this, to make sure that you get updated information, okay? But this is what's going on, right? We're in this bearish kind of, like, we're seeing lower patterns over and over again right now. That's what's been going on. It may change, but that's what we're seeing. So I have software that I bought. I paid a lot of money for it. That tells me if we're in a bearish or we are into an uptrend. So I use the software to make more intelligent decision. And you subscribe to this channel so you don't have to pay for that software, which is very expensive, okay? Some of the software I pay, like NUPLs cost like $10,000. Many things cost a lot of money, okay? I spend a lot of money to get the best information on how to trade, but by you following this channel, you don't need to pay for any of that, yeah? So, but here's the thing, right? We are looking for the patterns. So, if you see a raising flag, for example, so you need to learn about what those patterns are. There's heads and like shoulders, there's triangles, all kinds of patterns. So we are looking for that. Now, when we look at Ethereum, right? So we saw it break the 2000, and now we're seeing it's trading within a pattern. Does that make sense? Now, if it breaks that pattern here, now the stop loss should kick in because you're on a downtrend now, and you're probably going to lose like money. So let's see what's going on. Does anybody invest in Ethereum? Okay. So let's see Ethereum right here. Yeah, see, we're still in that pattern. So if you're invested in Ethereum, we have not seen much movement though. It's been like not much going on, but in 2 minutes, it's going to change. We can see how much time there is left. Now, it may go all the way up. It may break this. If it breaks down, then my stop loss will kick in. Then I don't lose money on that trade because I bought after it break 2000. Okay, so that's what we mean by looking at the pattern instead of, let's just say, feeling it, which is not a good way. So we're looking at that. Okay, so I'm just giving you some of my 10 indicators, right? So we want to look at top crypto channels, YouTube, Twitter. What are these experts saying? Because that does play. It plays a big role, right? We've seen it in the stock world, right? Where the social media world has become a factor in influencing the price. So if all the experts say it's going up, that's one of the factors. And that's what's happened. Technical analysis kind of didn't make sense, in my opinion, but we saw the social media saying, no, it's going to go a lot higher. Very optimistic, so that we need to take into factor of the price. Okay, so that you don't need to follow all the channels. I'll do that for you. The other factor that you have to look at is the major news channel. What are they saying, right? We just saw big news, right? Of course, we all know Elon Musk bought. That's a factor. Like, technical analysis is not 100%. You need to look at the news, the social media. You need to look at a lot of things to find out where's the price going, okay? And then Max CD. Okay, Max CD is letting you know. Now, I'm not going to go, I know somebody asked about that, right? The Max CD, they wanted to know about how that works. But it's letting you know basically what's going on, okay? This one uses a number. It lets you know that we're in a downtrend right here. So there's different Mac CD. I'm keeping it simple, but it's letting you know, right, if you're in a downtrend or an uptrend. And so what happens is that, downtrend, you can see, right, based on what's going on. So Max CD is one of the indicators you can use to find out, are we in an uptrend? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell, right? So Max CD will help you do that. Then we have the fear and greed chart, which is not a big factor. I wouldn't count that as the most important one, but it's definitely one, okay? You want to look at, like, when people are very greedy, right? They think it's never going to end. They think that they can't go to the up so much, right? And then they go too high. So then, if you ever looked at the psychology of the market cycle, it kind of works like this. First, there's hope, right? Oh, I can buy, I can make money. Then there's a lot of optimism. This is a good stuff. Then they really like believe this is the best opportunity in the world. This is gonna skyrocket. Then it's like they're so feeling happy because of all the money they're like making. And then they go to euphoria. Oh my God, I'm so awesome. And right at the euphoria height is where a crash happens. Now, we are not there yet, okay? I'm not talking that we're in a crash right now. No way. We're not there for many more months, okay? Now, there is a way to tell when the crash happens, because if you don't sell before the crash, you will lose a big portion of your gains. Now, I don't think the next crash in 2021 will be so big. You know, we'll see some correction, but a crash, you could lose a lot of percentage of your Bitcoin. Now, you wouldn't lose it if you don't sell it. You only lose if you sell during a crash. So you bought, let's say you bought here, then go all the way down. Then technically, when you look at your how much money you have, it looks like you lost money. But if you hold it, remember, it's always gonna go up. But here's what happens when we reach the top. People think, oh, it will come back, but then it doesn't, and it just drops to the floor. So you will have a chance to sell even here, but we want to sell here, right? So that's why a lot of people into the social media world are very, very concerned when they see all the gains that we've made. So, but here's the good news. There is software that costs $10,000, and I've got it, and I will share with you, okay, that will let you know when we reach the euphoria. It's called NUPL, okay? Volume is another point. Right now, as we see what's going on, look at the volume that has decreased. Huge amount of volume decrease. You don't want to just look at the price, because if the price is based on the low volume, it's not an accurate mirror of the real price. When there's a lot of trading, now we are starting to see what the real price is. So we don't want to have, oh, the price is that one, but then when people start to trade again, that may not be the price. So low volume could be a sign that now people are no longer buying Bitcoin because they see it going down. So now, like, no more buying. But then the selling starts, so it can turn very fast from green to red, especially if that happens. And then that happens. And then that happens. Now the volume starts to raise as panic happens. And that's how a strong correction can happen. It's very normal. And that's a good opportunity for you to make money. When you start seeing this, just make sure that if you missed it and you're halfway, then you just got to hold on to it, and that's it. You got to hold on until, you got to wait it out until it bounces back, if that happens, okay? Is this valuable, guys? Okay, now this is the NUPL that I was talking about. It's a $10,000 like software. And these crash that I'm talking about, when you look at the blue part here, and probably it's easier if I share my PowerPoint so you can see it clearly. So please wait 1 minute. When you look at the blue part, what it means, okay, is that a crash is coming, and the odds, based on history, has been very, very successful, okay? So let me share with you what I mean. Go back to the PowerPoint. If you look at here, right, when it turns blue, right, these are a very strong signal that a crash happened. And these are not small crash. These are huge crash. We're talking 70%. Right? We're talking like huge amount of loss here during that crash. And if you go here, another crash. So every time it reached the euphoria, that's what the blue means. Okay, it means euphoria. So remember what I showed you, the chart. When you reach the euphoria, that means people are going to, that means the market is going to crash, and you better not be in unless you're willing to hold your Bitcoin for a long, long time. Okay? Does that make sense? Guys, if this is valuable, smash the like button for me. Okay? While I put my PowerPoint back up. Okay, thank you. Great. Because, you know, as we promise in this website, we need to teach you Especially I'm talking to the people who don't know anything about trading. We need to teach you how to trade without losing money, because the worst thing you can do is trade on emotions. Let me see here. Okay, so last thing, right? So right now I'm 70% sure, based on everything I've shown you, that we are in a downtrend. So if we look here, 70% sure. So as I said, one of the major factors, so doesn't mean that it will go down to my target price. I hope it does, because I can make more money if it does. That's how you make a lot of money, okay? Because you can buy more Bitcoin, right? I can buy more Bitcoin for a cheaper price. So of course it's good when it goes down. It's good when it goes up. It's good when it goes down, because you're making money either way, right? So this is why it's an important point. So 70% is pretty high based on what's going on, and my 70% will remain true, right? Unless this happens, as we're seeing now. Not good. It could be scenario number one. It could be unless this breaks above that line, and that seems to be red. We have to see where it closes. If it drops all the way back in, then okay. But if the next few are above this, then we're not in a scenario where it's going to go down. We're in a scenario where it's actually going to go up. Okay. And yeah, so that's why I want to keep following this channel, guys, because if that happens, then that's your chance to buy back in. Okay, you may want to go with 50% of your investment in case you cannot. Now, as the price, if the price rises, right, and you don't have to go 50%, you can put another 50%, and then the 50% that's already in, you put a stop loss higher than, so you don't lose any money whatsoever if it crashes. Make sure, guys, make sure that if you're going to go, okay, if you're going to do this, and it's really going to go the way it looks right now, which is it's actually going to go probably much higher. So it looks now like, oh, it's in the green, right? So what does that mean? Well, let me just explain this to you very, very quickly. But what this could mean is this, right? It goes up, right? And then you're going to put your stop loss here, but not right away. You want to make sure that you have the like support line. Then let it go up. Don't change the support line too quick to your stop loss. Then you can invest the other 50%, okay, without a stop loss at first. So that's the risk you're taking, right? Because if you put a stop loss, it's okay, right? But the reason I'm willing to put 50% without a stop loss, if it crashes right after, I'm okay because I've got another 50%. Then when it crashes, if it does crash, well, it will crash eventually, but the question is it going to, let's crash. Let's use the word correction. If there's a breathing out and I'm all in, I'm not going to feel good about that. So I want to make sure that I have at least 50% of my portfolio ready to buy in cash, cheap Bitcoin. Now, because if you don't put this, if you have like money and it starts going down right away and you sell it on a stop loss, you're going to lose a certain amount of like money. If you're okay with that, you can do that. But a lot of money is being lost by too many stop loss. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful in the stop loss thing, because you don't want to be wrong, you know. So, or you wait until we have more confirmation. If you're not comfortable with 70% chance that it's going to go down, right now it's not 70%. We went back, now we went back down because when we look at the chart, I'm not 70% because it just changed. And that's the problem, is that we went above that line. Now the lines may not be 100% accurate because we don't have a lot of data. We just have a little bit, so it could be this. But you're not supposed to change those trend lines. If it breaks above, then you should follow that. Now you may want to confirm a few more, but we saw it go all, you wouldn't want to wait until it goes all the way here, right? Because you're going to buy it as cheap as possible. So that's one play, guys. And remember, it's all about feeling good. Whatever you feel good about, you buy and hold, or you do to try to do as least trade as possible. And that's what I would recommend that you do, okay? Any questions, guys? Any questions? And by the way, for those of you who wanted to know about Ethereum, same thing. It didn't cross that blue line. If it breaks below, then you may want to activate your stop sell. you may want to stop sell below that blue line, maybe at 1993. So I already have one there, and let's see what's going to happen. Yeah. So any questions about what I've showed you today? Now keep subscribing to this channel so I can keep sending you information, but because this 70% is already changed because of factor number 2, the 1 hour has just changed. So now this could go down to 0 very fast as it changes the pattern, because this plays a big factor to this. So this may go down to 60%. That's why as soon as you put these reports out there, please remember they're already outdated. Okay, so as things change, if you subscribe to my Twitter channel, I can let you know, and I can tell you what I think the indicator is of a downtrend or uptrend. Okay, so make sure you subscribe and follow, and subscribe to my channel. And if you don't have any questions, then I'll see you guys on Monday when we do the $40 announcement, free Bitcoin, okay? Or maybe I didn't see your questions. Okay, anyway, guys, that's it for, oh, okay, so I didn't see that. Okay, how about Cardano? Okay, let me see your questions. Well, I certainly think it's it's orchestrated through different powers for sure. I mean, can you manipulate the price of Bitcoin? Is that what you're asking me? And the answer is for sure, for sure. If you have enough money, right? If you have enough influence, like now the social media, I think, you know, well, I don't want to create the conspiracy, but for me at this point, what I do is I look at the 10 indicators, and that increases my chance to win on every trade. And I try to reduce the amount of trades that I make, because as I said, if you make too many trades, your chance of being, every time you make a trade and you're wrong, like if you buy in every day, sell every day, you're not going to reach the potential Bitcoin can have by just buy and hold. So what I'm trying to show you guys is that, like, the best thing you can do is just buy it and hold it, right? But when there is a strong correction of 20-30%, you should definitely take it. That's what I'm saying. Cardano, what about Cardano? No, it's not euphoria level yet. Okay, let's check Cardano. Okay. Yeah, so now we're going sideways pretty much, right? So if you want to know what to do, you should have a stop loss, you know, so, oops, this thing here. Because I'm zoomed in or something like that. Yeah, not working. Those lines are not working very well on my computer. So you can see there's a line above, right? And it's kind of a angle line below. So it's not a clear pattern yet because it just went poof, right? So, but you can put a stop loss. I put my stop loss at $1 because I like to give a lot of leeway. So my stop loss is all the way here at $1. Okay. So that means that it have to drop down. So I'm giving it enough space to move because it's going sideways. And when it goes sideways, man, it could go up, it could go down. But you know, it was pumped yesterday. You know that, right? ADA was pumped. It was pumped through the social media channels. I'm just saying what I see, right? It was pumped by a lot of like people. That's why you see this huge amount of, sorry, you guys cannot see this. It's right here. So as you can see, right? This is a pump. It was pumped, which could mean that you asked me, like, is it orchestrated? I think this is orchestrated, yes, for sure. Like, why are we seeing such big gains, right? So, I mean, again, you want to look at the news, right? So, but in a way, they're competing against Ethereum, and you know, so let's see how they do. But there's a lot of potential, of course, right? But it has not been doing very well for a long time, while every coin was. So now all of a sudden they maybe they pumped it, right? So is it a pump and dump? Put your stop loss. Make sure that doesn't happen to you. Sure it does not happen. Yeah, it's not. No, not euphoria yet, and I will let you guys know when it is based on the software that I have that lets me know. Okay. So come back and subscribe to this channel. Okay, V-Chain. Yeah. Want to look. So big news coming in. Can you give us more details on that? That could be a good tip. I don't buy altcoins based on what people say, but I want to see some good indicator that it's a good buy. Well, I told you based on indicator and based on the probability, as I just told you. The other day you told me once Bitcoin is going to crash. You told us, but it couldn't rise. Yeah, it did, because when we look at the chart, it was supposed to crash. So if you look at the 3-day again, right? Let's go back to Bitcoin. 3 days. So this is the pattern, right? And unless you believe it's going to keep going up, it doesn't make sense. Because as I said, it's an angle of growth. So your angle of growth is straight up to the moon. So it's overbought right now, in my opinion. Okay. So is it possible to keep going up? Yes. That's why I made another video yesterday. If you go to my YouTube channel, let's go to the YouTube channel, and then I immediately told you guys that there was another play there in the emergencies. So did you miss that? Right here, right? I made this. So I made another video there. We just broke all-time high after the dump. So then you buy back in here. That's why you subscribe to the channel, so you can find out what's going on. But again, they're all based on the law of probability. So, and I wouldn't tell you to sell. Just put your stop loss and give it enough room, okay, so that you are able to make a smart decision. So don't sell, put a stop loss. And again, many of you have just subscribed to my channel and you're learning how to trade. So please give yourself more time to learn about how to buy and how to sell. I mean, it's not like some of you are not experts yet, but as you continue to learn, you will get better, okay? So please make sure as well, subscribe to Twitter so you can get in faster. And when you sell, you have to be ready to get back in, right? So the ideal, again, as I showed you, you're trying to sell before there's a big correction. Now, if we don't have enough certainty, you should keep 50% in, okay? And then the other 50%, right? If it drops, you have money to buy it low. That's one play that I explained in this video. If you just came in and you're late, please watch this video again so you understand, yeah? But live in a beautiful state. You're not all your trades are gonna be successful, and that's a false expectation. But if you continue to follow the rules of trading, you can 100x without losing money, okay? So don't sell, put a stop loss, okay? Okay, guys, that's it for tonight. Unless you have any other questions, I'm done. I will see you guys on Monday for the $40 giveaway for Bitcoin. Live in a beautiful state. As always, guys, that's the most important thing. Don't be in a suffering state. Be in a beautiful state. Follow the trading rules. Keep learning from this channel, and all of us can 100x without losing money. See you guys. Live in a beautiful state. Bye for now.